is. All right. That didn't take too long, but this is going to be kind of funny. So spring's getting started a lot earlier this year. There's no question about that. It's 52 degrees, February 14th, Valentine's Day. And I'm about to show you guys the surefire barometer that spring has arrived, because this is not a steelhead. This is a white sucker. So the suckers have showed up apparently. First one I've seen. Of course, this is the first one, first I've been out in a little bit, but it's not uncommon to foul up a bunch of these things when you're steelheading in the early parts of spring. So there we go. First white sucker of the year. Cool. He's happy to see me. All right, so I'm going to change my depth a little and see if we can't get through without banging up another one of those guys right away and get a steel on. That's a big old female there, big girl. She's got plenty of eggs. Ready to spawn. So these whites, they're the deep water sucker in the lake. They got a real boxy head, built to withstand super crazy water pressure. They go out a little deeper than the red horse and the quillbacks. That's a big girl there. That's a pretty big white. That's just about as big as they get. So, and amazing, they are just pushing in number. We have not been able to get a drift without making contact with one of those yet. And despite the cold temperatures, to avoid them, and even if there is a decent number of steelhead in this hole, I can't really get to them without hooking up these whites. So despite the cold temperatures telling me that I need to ride the back of the hole while I'm fishing, it might benefit me to slide up and get in a little faster water just to get out of them, just to take a chance with there being a handful of steelhead up there. At least I could maybe get out of these white suckers, because they are really, really thick. There's a bunch of them in there. I'd say there's a sucker or two in this hole, buddy. It's kind of hard to get through there without hitting one. Oh no! That was finally a steelhead. Just couldn't keep him hooked up. A collared up one. Nice, good sized fish too. Just could not keep him buttoned up. Another sucker. Sweet. It's another big one. Oh boy. I'm not sure who the sucker is, me or them. But hey, it's still a bend in the rod, right? So like my third sucker landed and about 6, 7 of them hooked in about 15 minutes. Lost one steel. So I'm only going to give it a little bit longer in this tail out before I just won't be able to stand it. And I'll have to try to move somewhere and find a place that the steelhead are, that the suckers are not, which could be a little tricky. We may have to relocate. We're pretty low in the system, so that could be a part of it. Might have to get a little higher up the river and see if we can't get away from these guys, because they're just plaguing me right now. Damn. Fudge. Must be a tree there, buddy. It's time for a quick gear review. So I've been out for a couple hours now. Staying in the water pretty consistently. And there's a reason I bring that up, is because I want to talk about these boots. So these are G3s, but this is the first time I've had a pair of bootfoot G3s from Simms. And I already feel like I'm going to be absolutely in love with these waders. I'm just going to prop one of the boots up. I don't really need to talk about the upper. It's the same as the regular G3s that I've been using for years. So really the biggest thing to talk about is the boot itself. You know, we can do another video on the G3 sometimes, or if you want to look around on YouTube, I'm sure you can find plenty of reviews about the G3 stocking foot waders. But specifically the boot foots, what I love about boot foots, and I think Simms knocked it out of the park with these, is they are really warm. I'm wearing a regular pair of cotton socks. Water temperature is about 39 degrees. And I'm wearing a regular pair of cotton socks, and I have like even not the slightest feeling of cold. Also, with most boot foot waders, especially in the cheaper pairs of certain brands, they don't fit around your ankle all that well. Simms killed it with these things. They have the perfect grip on my ankle. I feel like I've got, honestly, this is going to sound crazy to some of you, I'm sure, but honestly, I feel like I have just as much ankle support as I would if I had a stocking foot with a lace-up boot. And I probably feel like, honestly, I have more ankle support than the boas that I used throughout the fall season last year. And that was, again, if you go back to that video, one of my biggest complaints about the boas was I just didn't feel like I could get them tight enough. It was one of my only complaints, is I just didn't feel like I could get them tight enough. These are really secure. I would mention one thing: if you did feel like you wanted to put a bunch of socks in there, a couple of big pairs of wool socks, I would probably up one size. I bought 12s, which is exactly what I wear, a men's 12. They were pretty snug going on, and they're pretty snug fit, not uncomfortably so. I could probably put on, when it gets really cold, one pair of wool socks over my cottons, and I would be super, super tight in there. So if you wanted to do more layering, which again, I don't know why you'd need to. I'm really warm in these after a couple of hours. I don't feel like it's a thing that if I'm in here for 2 or 3 more hours, they're going to finally get cold. That doesn't seem to be the case. I have not walked very far either. We've gone 100 yards from the parking lot. So I'm loving these Simms boot foots. And of course I got the Vibrams and put the metal studs in them, which is absolutely the best for us up here in Steelhead Alley because of the shale that we've talked about so many times before. The felt does okay on the shale, but nothing really trumps rubber with studs. I was on some shale down there under the bridge already. Stuff that would have been, I would have had to slow down more on my felts, and it definitely would have probably been down on, in the water on regular rubber, and I got around great. So can't say enough about the Simms, just the boot foot G3s, an absolutely awesome product. And, you know, nice thing for you know, most of us, you know, who wants to sit there and have to tie up shoelaces? I can just slide them on and off. I think that's my favorite part, let alone they're plenty stable. They're plenty solid. I guess that's really all I have to say about them. I think I'm in love with them already, and there's a good chance that this may just be my go-to wader all the time now. I wouldn't even be afraid on some of the Alaska trips I've done to wear these and hike a couple of miles a day and I'm on a fly out. I don't think it would be an issue. Oh, and to that point too, the boot is not heavy. They're pretty light for what they are, light and durable, so I feel good about it. But enough about my gear. Let's go try to catch another fish. Yeah, pretty much just Justin. I'm just gonna be there. Fuck. That was a fish. I could not, I mean, there's no way for me to tell if it was a steelhead or a sucker, but that was indeed a fish. Freshie, not a big one, but nice fish anyway. Clean. They're definitely liking that seam edge in this faster water, but that's a nice timer there. So, working a little harder for them than I'd like to, but I can't complain about this February weather. It's unbelievable, 52 degrees. On Valentine's Day and the water's 38, 39 degrees. This happens about once every 10 years, so. All right, well, we were gonna get a release with him on the other camera maybe, but he didn't give me that chance, so. Back to work. God bless. It's a good one. Yep. There's a big old bow. The way this day's gone, I fully expect to lose this fish. We'll see. She's acting like she's hooked well inside, but I don't know. Took that Oregon cheese. She is not giving me an inch of leverage. Here we go. She's coming. Maybe. It's always hard by yourself. The net that I have, that I guide with, I can't get to it quick enough anyway, so I do not like to drag these fish up on the rocks either, so I'm just going to try to corral her right down in here when she's done, so that I can just get her right under me. She's still bulldogging me pretty good. There we go. Not really taking line, but just bulldogging me right there. Here we go, baby. I got you. Come on. Yeah. This is what I was expecting to see about all day as far as the fall we had went. I was hoping to see a lot more of these bigger chrome fish that we had through fall season. Just bigger fish in general, but the couple of chromers I hooked, the one I landed, and the couple I didn't weren't very big. And then the collared up one I lost was pretty nice. I think she's pretty well gassed. I'm gonna try to corral her. I might break a rod, I might break a kneecap, who knows? I might break my line. This is the hard part about doing it without a net, and also actually given enough of a care to take care of the fish and not, I could have drug her on the rocks already, but really don't want to do that. So, come on, baby. I gotcha. Come here, big girl. Oh, not good. She popped off. Well, we got a good look at it. The big fish. She didn't break off. She just came unbuttoned, but that's the thing about not having a net. But we got to see that one. That's a nice way to end this day. You know, the whole thing for me was just, you know, get out before my guide season starts, which is about to be every day from March 3rd through about April 16th. So I don't get to catch a lot of these myself anymore, and it's hard not to take advantage of. I mean, this is one of our Fish Ohio dry fit hoodies. It's not a heavyweight shirt. I have a t-shirt on under that. I mean, it's 51 degrees. It's cooled off a little. We're getting close to sunset now, I suppose, but I mean, it's just hard to beat, you know. I think it got up to 53 at one point. The sun was out. Just not terrible wind today, and really just a heck of a day to be out and enjoy some steelhead fishing. I didn't tear them up by any means, but I feel good about the day, and yeah, we're gonna probably head out